Today we start from here, from an old glory, Kawasaki ZX-4RR because we are going to try, in a certain sense, its modern heir. After years of neglect for small displacement 4-cylinder engines, a 4-cylinder 400 from Kawasaki arrives in Europe for the first time, the ZX-4RR Ninja.
Before getting into the heart of the test, let's technically frame this ZX-4RR Ninja, and to do so, it is mandatory to start with its main peculiarity. The engine, a 399cc inline-4 with double overhead camshafts and 77 declared horsepower, which becomes 80 with the airbox under pressure with the ram air, as Kawasaki calls it, which swallows air at high speed. Among the technical improvements of this engine are forged camshafts, machined intake chambers, and lightweight pistons. The frame is less complex, consisting of a steel lattice connected to a swing arm that is printed using the same material. The basic measurements are 1380mm wheelbase, 97mm trail, and 23.5 degrees steering head angle. With regards to the suspensions of this RR, there is a Showa SFF BP fork located at the front, equipped with 37mm upside-down stems and offering the only adjustment option of spring preload. On the rear, however, there is a suspension that is very similar to the one found on the ZX-10R, specifically a show with progressive characteristics and full adjustability known as BFRC light leverage. The electronic package is manageable by a 4.3-inch color TFT dashboard that also integrates Bluetooth connectivity, 4 riding modes, rain, road, sport, and rider with adjustable traction control from 1 to 3 or disengageable, and an engine mapping that can be selected between full or low. Obviously, ABS is also present, but it is neither adjustable nor active in corners as there is no inertial platform, while the quick shifter is equipped with an upshift blipper. From ABS to conclude this technical picture, let's proceed to the brakes, which at the front can rely on two 209mm discs and radial and monoblock calipers. Regarding the tires, the standard ones are Dunlop GPR 300 with a front size of 120/70 and a rear size of 160/60. However, for the test in Spain, we opted for Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3, which are road tires but offer enhanced performance. Finally, a mention to the Ninja ZX-4R, which would essentially be the base version that does not include the electronic gearbox. It has a completely black color and simpler suspensions with only rear spring preload adjustment. Price drops to €8,990, €700 lower than expected.
Veppa X4RR. Therefore, Kawasaki has decided to dare by bringing to Europe, to our market, for us enthusiasts, for young enthusiasts, a 4-cylinder breaking a bit the pattern that has been consolidated in recent years of twin cylinders declined in various uses from road to off-road to super sport. No, this is a pure 4-in-line with a double overhead camshaft, as we have seen 399cc, 77 horsepower, but Kawasaki wants to point out that they are 80 with the ram air system under pressure, so with the air flowing into the front intake, it goes under pressure, so there is more oxygen, it creates more possibility of discovering gasoline, and you have some more horsepower. But the really beautiful thing is to come back. For me, who grew up with the 600 Super Sport, and all my friends who rode many 636, I said, it is to come back to having a motorcycle for boys that screams so much, and today we made it scream a lot. Here on the track in Calafat, with the tachometer always stuck over 13,000 revolutions per minute, and this is its beauty. It is what I liked so much in terms of originality in driving, but it is a bit the characteristic that you have to keep in mind right away to frame this bike and to understand if you are interested if it makes your blood boil a bit, precisely to understand if it is right for you, because this means that it is also a bit more complicated to ride than a classic twin cylinder. It takes a bit more to get into the mood to push it to the limit, and the mood to push it to the limit is always staying in the red zone, which adds to the thrill and excitement of the experience. Let's try to understand each other. Below 6,000 RPM, this bike could be said to almost not exist. Indeed, in reality, considering the well-matched gears, as soon as you start, you are already over 6,000 RPM. From 6,000 to 8,000, 9,000 tends to be a bit lazy. It's an area where you shouldn't stay if you want to go fast, especially on the track. At 8 to 9,000 exactly, then the speed changes, it begins to pull, it starts to roar with aspiration, to sing the exhaust, and then it's the high sim where the beauty and the actual push come.
Sure, not talking about Superbike.
Replica, but there is, and it is all enclosed by the 12.5 to almost 16,000 RPM of the imitator, where the exhaust screen is precisely located, that accompanies you, involves you a lot in driving, and if it is true that on the track you have to calibrate for a moment to get into the mood, as I said, and to really exploit it, this characteristic is also the one that I can't say having tried it, but from experience I can, so to speak, hypothesize, will also characterize the driving on the road of the ZX-4R and RR, in the sense that to go even at a good pace, you really have to commit yourself to bring out the best. It is not a bicycle that enables you to travel quickly without hardly any need for conscious thought. You must be focused, eyes bloodshot, knife between your teeth, march inside at the right moment, one after the other, without getting stuck on the wrong exit. Then comes the cycling chapter. A truly super sporty bike. The riding position is compact. That's the only thing I didn't like. The windshield is really small. It definitely deserves a double curvature, because even for me, who is 1.74 meters tall, there is very little space to hide and stay in the fairing on straight stretches. But as I was saying, the riding position is compact, with the semi-handlebars not particularly wide, but suitable for a really aggressive, sporty riding style, really hunting for the perfect racing line. And then there is the suspension and brake setup, as we have seen, that keeps up with you when you want to give it some gas. Today we rode with Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3 road tires, and this bike, I must say, demands a decidedly angrier, grippier, more picky tire to fully demonstrate its best qualities, which include, yes, the agility that one can expect from such a small bike, but above all the stability during the ride, and the tendency to invite you to ride like a true supersport, providing an exhilarating experience. I enjoyed the brakes that enable powerful braking in conjunction with a finely tuned blipper for assertive downshifts. I appreciated the ABS slightly less because it can be somewhat intrusive during the most intense braking. Luckily, we have made arrangements with Kawasaki technicians to disconnect the necessary fuse in order to proceed with the subsequent shifts without ABS, effectively accessing the full braking power provided by the monoblock radial system. The fork provides good support. It's unfortunate that it cannot be adjusted hydraulically, because I would have preferred to correct it, primarily in extension during the entry phase in the curve when the brakes are released, and this is a minor drawback. On the contrary, the mono, which has a good road sporty setup, is slightly soft when you start to get serious, but on the other hand, being a quality Showa mono practically similar to that of the ZX-10R, there is the possibility to adjust it and therefore to tailor it to yourself and to find the support needed to twist the throttle, or in any case to enter and travel through high-speed curves as required by the track when you get a little more experienced. A mention should also be made of the electronic package beyond the ABS, which, considering the category, or rather actually category, is a bit of a difficult word to assign to this bike because it is positioned in the 400cc displacement range, but with power more similar to a bike like the R7. Even in terms of price, we are more in that direction, but let's say for its category, for its being intended for young riders, it is quite complete with map and engine, adjustable traction control and ABS, which, yes, did not impress me on the track, but is certainly something useful, indispensable when driving on the road as well. And let's say that the limits it has highlighted on the track concern a really aggressive riding style. Ultimately, this Ninja ZX-4RR, I must say, it truly excited me. It brought back memories of the old days, the ones that the 4 angry cylinders demanded and continue to demand even now, where you have to put in a lot of effort to bring out the best. But what you get in return is really a lot of satisfaction and also a lot of speed compared to the category and the fun on a track like this one in Calafat, which in terms of size is perfect for this kind of power, has been really at a very high level, or with some rude behavior with colleagues. Despite the organization as usual, you try to keep us in line by saying stay away, etc. Then those things always happen, like bumping into each other, braking late. In short, you know how it's going to end. But having said that, I invite you to ask me more down here in the comments if you want to know some more details about the ZX-4RR Ninja. And above all, to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the Superbike Italia YouTube channel if you haven't already. And then follow us on all our other social channels, and every month in newsstands and in digital edition with the magazine. I simply need to return to the bike as there are still 2 laps left and give it a lot of gas to continue racing.